Welcome to my channel. Subscribe and enjoy my new stories every day. The day began like any other, with the sun peering through the blinds and the city slowly coming to life. I sat down with my morning coffee and opened my laptop to sift through the usual flood of emails, promotions, work updates, and the occasional message from an old friend. But today, among the mundane and predictable, was an email that caught my eye, marked with the ominous subject, "You deserve better." Curiosity piqued, I clicked it open, expecting another spam offering life-changing supplements or a fortune left by a distant relative. Instead, I was met with a series of photos and a message that felt like a sucker punch to my gut. The photos showed my wife, Andrea, not as I knew her but as someone else entirely, laughing and cavorting with a man I had never seen. They were at a park, on a picnic blanket, half hidden by the trees, half naked, and completely absorbed in each other. The message read, "Thought you should know what your beloved wife has been up to. You're welcome." My first thought was to write it off as a cruel prank, but the details were too precise, too intimate. There was Andrea, wearing the silver bracelet I had given her on our 5th anniversary, her laughter frozen in time by the camera's unyielding eye. I sat back, the weight of the revelation pressing down on my chest. The email claimed that the photos were from someone they had recently excluded from their activities. A man scorned, seeking revenge through shared secrets. Fueled by a mix of disbelief and rising anger, I called Andrea immediately, needing to hear her voice, needing this to be a mistake. She answered, her tone light and unsuspecting. "Hey, love, what's up? Where are you?" My voice came out sharper than intended. "Just grabbed a coffee downtown." "Why? Is everything okay?" I paused, the photos glaring back at me from the screen. "Yeah, everything's fine. See you at home." "Can't wait," she replied, oblivious to the storm brewing. The call did nothing to calm my nerves. It only cemented the dread settling in the pit of my stomach. I needed answers. I couldn't just sit and stew in this mix of anger and betrayal. I decided to confront her, to see the truth in her eyes when she faced the accusations. Hours later, I heard the turn of the key in the door, Andrea, home at last. My heart pounded as she entered, her smile still intact, unaware of the confrontation awaiting her. "Andy," I began, my voice steady despite the turmoil inside. "We need to talk." Her smile faltered as she noticed the serious tone in my voice. "What's wrong? You're scaring me." I turned the laptop toward her, the images of her infidelity greeting her like old friends at a party. Her face paled, the smile vanished, and she seemed to shrink back with every photo that flashed on the screen. "It wasn't what it looks like," she started, but her words were hollow, the excuses too late. "Save it, Andrea. Just, how could you?" The conversation spiraled quickly, accusations flying as the foundation of our marriage crumbled beneath us. By the end of the night, the decision was mutual but fueled by my hurt and her guilt. We would divorce, severing ties that had bound us for over a decade. As she packed a bag, tears streaming down her face, I felt no satisfaction, only the hollow victory of a man vindicated yet broken. She whispered a feeble apology before she walked out, the click of the door signaling the end of our life together. Left alone in the echo of our shared past, I sat down to draft my next steps. Revenge had fueled my actions tonight, but now, staring into the empty space she left behind, I realized this was just the beginning. I needed to know more, to understand why, and to ensure she understood the depth of my betrayal. As I plotted my next move, I knew one thing for certain, this was far from over. The main plot was just beginning to unfold, and the intrigue, once revealed, would change everything. The following morning, the reality of my new life begins to sink in with the sunlight that fails to warm the hollows left in the apartment. My mind races with fragmented plans and unanswered questions. I can't let things end at her simple exit. I need closure. I need to understand why she betrayed our vows, and most of all, I need to confront the man who had been hiding in the shadows of my marriage. Fueled by a restless night, I start my quest for answers. My first stop is the cafe where Andrea often spends her afternoons. It's a trendy spot downtown, the kind of place that brews organic coffee and plays indie music softly through hidden speakers. I push through the door, the bell tinkling overhead, drawing a few idle glances from the scattered patrons. The barista, a young woman with bright purple hair, recognizes me as I approach the counter. The usual, "Mr. Thompson?" "Not today, Jenna. Actually, I was wondering if you've seen my wife here recently. Maybe with someone?" Jenna's eyes dart away for a fraction of a second too long. Yeah, they were here a lot. Seemed, close. Did you see the man? Can you describe him?" She hesitates, biting her lip, then nods. "Tall, dark hair, beard, kinda rugged. They always sat in the corner, whispering and laughing." I nod, a cold thank you escaping my lips as I turn to leave, a piece of the puzzle clicking into place. My next step leads me to her favorite park, the one from the photos. I walk the paths, replaying their laughter and whispered secrets in my mind. It's maddening. A bench near the duck pond, secluded and surrounded by weeping willows, catches my attention. It's a perfect spot for secret meetings. As I sit, the cold bite of the metal bench is a stark contrast to the burning anger within me. I pull out my phone and dial the number of the discarded participant of their trysts, the one who sent the photos. It rings, and my grip tightens around the phone. "Who is this?" The voice on the other end is cautious, tinged with annoyance. "You know exactly who it is," I snap. "We need to talk. Now." There's a pause, a breath. "Fine. Where?" "The park. The bench near the duck pond." 10 minutes. I hang up before he can reply, my heart pounding against my chest like a drum. He arrives, just as the clouds begin to cast their shadows, mirroring the darkness that's settled over my thoughts. He's exactly as Jenna described, and as the photos betrayed. We sit at opposite ends of the bench, the distance between us charged with hostility. "Why did you send those photos?" I demand, my voice low but fierce. He shrugs, an attempt at nonchalance that doesn't quite reach his eyes. "They cut me out. After everything, I was just tossed aside. I thought you should know." "So, it was revenge? You used me for revenge?" "Look, I didn't mean." "Save it." "How long?" He sighs, looking away. 6 months. Maybe more. I absorb the blow, each word a hammer to my chest. "Why are you telling me this now? Why not before?" "I thought I was in love. When they pushed me out, I realized. I was just another toy in their game." His words ignite a fire in me, one that fuels my need for retribution. "And you think this is enough? You think this makes us even?" He meets my gaze, a flicker of fear in his eyes. I just thought you should know the truth." "The truth?" "The cold, hard truth of betrayal." "Thanks for the truth," I say, standing up. "But this isn't over. For either of us." I leave him there, on that secluded bench, as I walk away, my mind racing with plans of retribution. The next steps are clear, and as I disappear into the bustling street, I'm determined to bring everything into the light. The game has just begun, and I'm not just a spectator anymore. Determination courses through my veins as I stride towards the office building where the other man works. It's a towering glass structure that reflects the late afternoon sun, mirroring the fire of my resolve. My pace is brisk, each step echoing the pounding of my heart. As I enter the lobby, the cool air-conditioned breeze does nothing to chill my heated thoughts. I approach the reception desk, manned by a woman with a sharp bob and a questioning look. "I need to see Alex Donnelly." "It's urgent," I state, my tone brooking no room for debate. She eyes me warily, sensing the undercurrent of tension. Do you have an appointment? No, but he will want to see me. It's personal. The receptionist hesitates, then picks up the phone, relaying my message with a glance in my direction that mixes curiosity and concern. Moments later, she nods to me. Go right up, sir. Suite 504. I thank her with a nod and head towards the elevator. The ride up feels interminable, the digital numbers counting the floors passing agonizingly slow. Finally, the doors open, and I'm greeted by the minimalist, modern decor of the office suite. A secretary gestures me towards an open door. Alex is standing by the window overlooking the city, his back to me as I enter. He turns, a look of surprise fleeting across his features before he masks it with an insincere smile. Can I help you? I close the door behind me, the click of the latch sounding like the start of a duel. You already have, Alex. By seeing my wife. His smile falters, his composure slipping. I think there's been a misunderstanding. Cut the crap, Alex. My voice rises, sharp and clear. I've seen the photos. I know about the affair. He sighs, running a hand through his hair as he moves to sit behind his desk, a barrier between us. Look, I didn't know she was going to send those pictures. I didn't want it to blow up like this. You didn't expect to get caught, you mean, I retort, anger flaring. Alex leans forward, his expression one of contrition that doesn't quite reach his eyes. What do you want from me? I want you to understand what you've destroyed, I say, my voice low and controlled. And I want compensation. Compensation. His eyebrow arches, skepticism written all over his face. Yes, for ruining my life. You're going to pay for what you've done, Alex. He considers this for a moment, then nods slowly. What do you have in mind? I haven't decided yet. But consider yourself on notice, I warn him, turning to leave. And if you ever contact Andrea again, it will be the last thing you do. I don't wait for his response, leaving the office with a mix of satisfaction and unbridled fury. The sunlight outside seems harsh, glaring, as if spotlighting the drama of my personal tragedy. Once outside, I pull out my phone and dial the number of a private investigator. If Alex thinks this is over, he's sorely mistaken. I'm just getting started. The PI answers, and I speak without preamble. I need information on someone. Can you meet? We can discuss details in person, the PI responds, professionalism evident in his tone. How soon do you need this? As soon as possible. Today. Meet me at the coffee shop on 5th and Main in an hour. I agree and hang up, my plan slowly taking shape. This isn't just about revenge anymore, it's about justice. As I head towards the meeting, the city around me seems oblivious to the storm brewing just beneath its surface. But I know better. The storm has only just begun, and I am at its center, driving it forward. The city lights flicker like distant stars, dimly illuminating the path to the final confrontation. The air feels heavy, charged with the electricity of impending retribution. My meeting with the private investigator was enlightening, providing the final pieces of a puzzle I had been unwillingly thrust into. Armed with knowledge and a plan, I make my way to the luxurious hotel downtown where I now know Alex and Andrea plan to meet tonight. It's their usual spot, a quiet, anonymous place where secrets are whispered in shadowed corners. I arrive early, taking a moment in the shadows to gather my thoughts. My heart beats a fierce rhythm of anticipation and fury. This ends tonight. As I step into the lobby, the opulent decor mocks the darkness of my intentions. I take the elevator up to the floor where the investigator said they'd be. The hallway is quiet, save for the soft hum of the air conditioning. Each step towards the room tightens the coil of tension in my gut. I pause outside the door, listening. Laughter, her laughter, pierces through the wood, stoking the flames of my anger. With a deep breath, I use the keycard the investigator procured for me. The door clicks open silently. Inside, the room is dimly lit by bedside lamps, casting long shadows across the bed where Alex and Andrea are tangled in their deceit, oblivious to the storm about to break. "Andrea," I say, my voice calm despite the storm raging inside me. They scramble, shock etched on their faces as they reach for whatever cloth they can to cover their betrayal. Andrea stammers, her voice a mix of fear and confusion. "How did you?" "Save it," I cut her off, my eyes cold and unyielding. Alex stands, a weak attempt at authority in his voice. "Look, this isn't what it." "It's exactly what it looks like," I snap. I pull out my phone, showing them the live feed of their earlier interactions. "I've been watching. Planning." Andrea's face crumbles, tears welling up. "Please, let's just talk." "There's nothing left to say," I say, turning my gaze to Alex. "Except for the consequences." I step forward, and Alex instinctively retreats. "What do you want?" he asks, his voice unsteady. "Everything," I reply. "Your job, your reputation, I want them destroyed, just as you destroyed my trust." He swallows hard, nodding slowly. Okay. Just don't do anything rash." I laugh, a sound devoid of humor. "Too late for that." I throw a stack of documents on the bed, evidence of his embezzlement and fraud, gathered painstakingly over the last few weeks. "This goes to the police and your board of directors first thing in the morning." Andrea pleads, reaching for me. "Please, we can fix this." I step back, avoiding her touch as if it burns. "We're past fixing anything." Turning to leave, I pause at the door, my voice steady and final. "I want you out of the apartment by tomorrow, Andrea. I'll send someone for your things." With that, I walk out, the door closing with a definitive thud that seals their fate as much as it does the end of our relationship. I descend back to the lobby, my steps light, unburdened. Outside, the night air is crisp, almost refreshing. As I walk, the weight of the wedding band on my finger feels like a shackle. Without hesitation, I slip it off and toss it into the gutter, watching it disappear into the darkness. My past with Andrea might haunt me for a while, but my future starts now, free from lies and betrayal. As the dawn begins to break, painting the sky with hues of hope, I realize revenge hasn't brought satisfaction, but it has brought clarity and the promise of a new beginning.